Good afternoon, folks. We are live here at James Street, Albouystown, where it appears that the fire would have broken out at a house, a yard where there are several houses in the yard. They're currently trying to save the house that has the most flames. It appears as if the flames would have been diminished. However, the fire has not ended, because as we know, wherever there's smoke, there's fire. And as you can see here, the fire tenders are working very hard to get the blaze under control. We can't exactly go too much closer because it is reaching the first house that you see in front there. The fire is coming out to the house in front here, so they're trying to wet this building on the front here so that they can save the structure somewhat. They're working real hard here. Residents are also out front looking on at the efforts of the fire tenders. And yeah, it is currently 3:42. Fire was reportedly started about an hour or two ago. Take you closer to see what exactly is going on. This is James Street, Albouystown, where the fire would have started. They're trying to save the building next door to where the fire is actually happening. If you look this way, the fire started next door here. And the fire, they're trying to save this building, trying to wet the building so that the fire wouldn't spread towards this building here. As you can see, public spirited persons are here spilled out on the road of James Street, Albouystown, where the fire has erupted. And this area currently is covered in thick black smoke. So we can't really get too close. I will go back there in a few. So this area is covered in thick black smoke as the fire tenders are trying their very best to keep the fire under control here. With their water pumps, one of them is on the ladder, a couple of them are on the ladder, and the fire is coming to the front of the building here. Try as they might, the fire would have crept onto the other building, but they're trying to get it under control here. There are some public spirited persons out here who would have helped taking people out of the buildings. However, there are no reports of any death thus far. This is indeed what happened. What is happening here today is indeed a tragic loss of property and infrastructure. There are citizens here looking on in awe and disbelief as the fire is spreading towards the other building. As you can see, they're saving some equipment here. Looks like a speaker. This looks like a speaker box that they're trying to save here and taking it into another location away from the fire. They're saving as much as possible. Building is being taken over by the fire. We are live here in James Street, Albouystown, where the fire would have broken out on the property right next door to this one, where the thick black smoke is erupting from. And they were trying to save this building over here by soaking it with the fire hoses. However, the fire still crept up and is taking over the building right now. This is a tragedy that is happening here today, and they have to get it under control because people are looking at, they're getting excited here because the fire would have taken over the back there, as you can see. So tensions are running high. The residents are assisting the fire tenders and showing them where exactly the fire is coming from. Great community assistance here from the residents of Albouystown. This is very commendable. How they would have come together to help each other in this tragedy that is taking place here today. The police, our Guyana police force is also on the scene, as you can see, inspector in front there. Also directing what is going on. Residents are picking up the fire hose, to assist the fire tenders because they need the assistance right now. They need as much assistance as possible. They're trying to wet soak the back of the building, and tensions are running high. This is a tragic loss of property here today. Tragic loss of property here today. I will try to get closer to the original building. This is where reportedly the fire would have originated here. Just giving you all a clip of what is going on here. Um, great effort shown by the community, the residents of Albouystown area, as we see them assisting the firefighters with locating the sources of the fire, different sources of the fire, because the building has been caught on fire from the other side. I tried to go over there to give you guys a little bit of glimpse, but the flames are too much on that side. They would have gotten it controlled in this window area where I showed you just now, where the fire was burning there, because the residents would have assisted them in holding the hose and pointing towards the area. As you can see, one of the residents is climbing up the ladder with one of the hoses to assist. A resident would have opened the windows so that the flames can escape. The smoke can escape from within the building, because we know where smoke is, there is fire. For those of you who have just joined the live, we are here on James Street, Albouystown, where a fire would have broken out. It seems like it was next door to this building here. A fire would have broken out on that end, and they're trying to save this building, which the fire is creeping towards. And actually the fire would have gone to the back window of the upstairs of the building, tried to take over the upstairs of the building. And residents, with the assistance of residents, firefighters are getting the flames under control currently. This is as I said before, great community effort by the people of Albouystown in assisting the Guyana Police Force in doing Guyana Fire Service, sorry, in getting the flames under control. As you can see, the area is full of thick gray smoke. Tragic loss of property here today for the residents. There are no reports of any deaths thus far, and no reports of how many persons were actually in these buildings. But we do know that the owners of these buildings are probably somewhere devastated. I tried to see if I get to speak with one of them in a few. Yeah, the residents are here looking on. The street is covered with concerned residents coming from all directions. As you can see here, this is leading towards the fire, but I'm walking in the opposite direction. You can see what is going on in the area. This is one of the Guyana Fire Service tenders here, and they are working very hard. This is just the view of what is going on here. There are residents gathered in every direction as they look on solemnly at the tragedy which is occurring here today. I am walking back to the area where the fire is taking place. For those who just joined, we are here on James Street in Albouystown where a fire would have broken out. It appears in this area over here where there are, looks about like 2 yards down, and they're trying to save this building here currently. The Guyana Fire Service trying to save this building currently. I